lot of the content that I had planned here for this week actually didn't work out as such. A lot of my weekend plans here got turned upside down on their heads, so kind of had to pivot. And as such, I wanted to pivot to talk about some things in regards to recent information with the Warzone and Vanguard integration, some of the stuff coming along with that, an event potentially coming up here with it, and some of the stuff we learned here out of the recent Season 6 update. So full disclosure here, potentially some leaks ahead, but I want to talk about this here because I think that in the next week or so, we're going to see a lot of stuff come out in regards to Vanguard, a lot of things officially revealed, announced, and things like that. So it's getting to be the busy season. We're gearing up for the new launch in just over a week and a half now at this point. So we're going to take some time to discuss this while we still have the opportunity. But that said, as we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think of the information presented here with this? What do you think of the new ranking system potentially coming within Warzone? What about Chapter 3 and everything that may entail? Whatever the case may be, feel free to let me know your thoughts down below. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like down below. Let's aim for 1,000 likes on this video. And of course, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Vanguard, all things Warzone. We got a lot of stuff coming up, so make sure you don't miss a single thing. Stick around on the channel. And finally, my friends over at G Fuel still have code Espresso bumped up to 30% off. So if you guys want to get a restock and stock up or try something for the very first time here ahead of the Vanguard launch, now is as best a time as any. That said, let's jump into the discussion at hand. So this information comes from a lot of the members of the Cheeseburger Boys, data miners that we've talked about here in the past, Nanny Coast, Medina's HD, Alex, the Ghost of Hope, and others like that. So those are the people who brought this information to light a little bit and pulled it from the game files of Warzone. But those key focal points here deal a little bit with that integration, that new map, and some of the events actually leading up to it, i.e. a new live event, and also what is strangely dubbed as Chapter 3, which may present more questions than answers right now, at least, for Vanguard and the future of what we see with Vanguard and Warzone being tethered together. But starting out perhaps with maybe the more exciting of the two things here at that being the To the Pacific event. We learned a little bit about this probably about a month and a half ago at this point. I think that we first initially learned about it at that Season 5 Reloaded update, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong off the top of my head here at that. But the To the Pacific event was something that we learned about where we'll have to visit various locations of the map and find postcards that deal with the map in the Pacific. And so it's kind of a lead up here to that. But it also seems like as of the Season 6 update for Warzone, some assets were thrown in for a Visions of Verdansk event as well. So seemingly another two-part event here leading directly into the launch of the Warzone Pacific map. Just like how we saw a two-part event with the destruction of Verdansk, where on day one, we ended up seeing the fall of Verdansk here, that zombies outbreak overrunning players, and then the following day they came back and then we saw the continuation of that, where we played from the other side of the spectrum here. We were the ones on Rebirth actually launching the nukes, taking out Verdansk, but then at the end of that, we ended up getting that cutscene and it takes us back through that little bit of a flashback into 1984, and then we dropped directly into Verdansk 84. This might actually be something very similar here in regards to this. This Visions of Verdansk, this was something that was added as of Season 6, and it's something that tied to it has something that is recently discovered called Operation Flashback. This is described as Battle Royale with a twist, where events of the past become the present. And this actually sounds pretty cool because it says you're going to be revisiting events, where every new circle starts with a random event. Prepare for flashbacks from the past. Now, whether or not that means things like your jailbreak or your fire sale or your Juggernaut suit dropping in here at that, or if it's something entirely different, like a numbers event type of deal versus a Haunting of Verdansk event type of deal, where each circle thematically changes like that, we don't quite know. It also says that there are going to be enhanced rewards with contracts and supply boxes rewarding memories of yesterday with a chance of power-ups or key cards. Maybe finally giving us a look into what's in those bunkers now within Verdansk 84. We haven't seen those bunkers opened up at all since last year, and even still, we of course have that old mine section of the map as well that is described as having stuff in it, but we've never seen inside it. Maybe that actually finally opens that up here in this event. And then the expanded buy station is also listed here with this, where there's new items in stock and that loadouts can be purchased after the loadout event. So this again likely being in relation to that To the Pacific event coming at some point, perhaps a part 1 of 2 or perhaps a part 2 of 2, in which we finally then see the end of Verdansk, because we're not going to see this thing here after the transition over to the Pacific map. So I'm very curious to see what this means. Again, still very early on, not as many assets and strings of code as, say, other leaks we've had in the past, but definitely keep your eye out, because it seems like with at least the update of the mid-season update, rumored right now to be the day before Vanguard's launch, that could actually be something that gives us a lot more insight into what's to come in those game files. Now, additionally, what else was recently data mined here and learned about was a little bit of the mention and discussion around Chapter 3. Now, Chapter 3 in and of itself isn't something that's too confusing, but some of the things that follow after that that have been mentioned with Chapter 3, that's where things get a little weird, because Chapter 3 right now is presumed to be Call of Duty Vanguard. Chapter is referring to the mainline games here, those full premium titles of the Warzone era. Modern Warfare being Chapter 1, Black Ops Cold War being Chapter 2, and then Call of Duty Vanguard being Chapter 3, again, presumably. Now, Chapter 3 in the game files is associated with a couple of weird things. Data miner Nanikos ended up posting about this here in a tweet referencing some of the association here, in which it says, reflect on previous chapters' prestiges in a new ceremonial display, honoring your past progression as you start a new journey in Chapter 3. Progress new Warzone and Vanguard seasonal challenges. Chapter 2 seasonal challenges will be disabled in Warzone at the start of Chapter 3. Then he goes on to list in other tweets, November 23rd, Vanguard Season 1, December 1st, Cold War Season 6 ends, December 7th, Chapter 3 begins, with the final mention of your military rank progression will be synchronized with Vanguard at the start of Chapter 3. Unlock all new weapons, equipment, and content for use in both Vanguard and Warzone. Now, that is a load of things that seem to be conflicting information in regards to dates, and then also some things that just are kind of strange. Because, well, one, firstly, to talk about that ranking system. It seems like based off of this, we will have a very similar ranking set compared to what we had this past year. A seasonal ranking system with seasonal challenges, but instead, now Vanguard is going to sort of take over those seasonal challenges, and the Black Ops Cold War ones may still possibly be progressible in Black Ops Cold War, but for the time being, at least in Warzone, they'll be sort of pushed to the wayside. They're not going to be progressible anymore, and instead, at the start of Chapter 3, we'll see new ones pertaining to Vanguard and Warzone. They also mentioned that there is a new ceremonial display. Now, as cool as it would be to have something that you could cycle through prestiges or something like that in regards to your public rank, I kind of think this might be just something in your barracks, kind of how we had those ribbons that were on display in the barracks of Black Ops Cold War that you kind of had to go out of your way to look at. That might be something here at that, but it seems like it would be something that showcases the prestiges of Chapters 1 and Chapter 2. Black Ops Cold War all the way back to Modern Warfare, and what you still publicly see with Vanguard's ranking system here once that integration with Chapter 3 starts. But talking about the integration, that's where it gets weird, because we've talked about these dates before, where there were rumored the dates of November 23rd, which was rumored to be the initial integration date, December 1st, which is of course when we see the Battle Pass end on Black Ops Cold War, and so therefore, logically speaking, it makes sense that this would then transition over directly into the integration and the next season of Vanguard Season 1, but then also listed in the game files is December 7th, with Chapter 3 begins. So do we now have a mismatch in terms of how these things will work, where December 1st could be that integration, but the rank shift wouldn't happen until December 7th, or something like that? Right now, there is a lot more questions than potentially answers, but it poses some very strange situations in the very near future. So that's kind of the wrap up of here where we're at with all of this. And of course, a lot of this may in fact be clarified here as of this upcoming week. Again, I'm expecting quite a bit in terms of official blog posts, reveals, and everything like that leading up to the launch here of Vanguard, not this coming week, but the following week after. So for now, I guess that's kind of where I'm at here at this. Again, my schedule for content here kind of got flipped on its head. This is something that's kind of coming in last second here. So apologies on that if the foundation of this here is a little shakier than other videos we present, but wanted to keep you guys in the loop here at this. So let me know your thoughts down below. Are you guys looking forward to Chapter 3? Are you looking forward to what that may entail? And in fact, what do you think it entails? When do you think this integration, this rank shift will happen, if it is happening on different days? Whatever the case may be, drop your thoughts down below. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Warzone, Vanguard. We have so much stuff here coming in regards to both those. So if you're interested in either of them, hit that subscribe button. If you also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best place to chat with me outside of YouTube. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever the case may be, that link is down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.